So I got pissed off. I was like, don't disturb my grandma. Then I started turning and I started scolding the air. I said, hey, fuck off. I said, don't disturb my grandmother. And then I turned to her. I said, is it still there? She's like, it's gone. And we are
not live.
Yeah.
It is quite fun.
It's quite fun.
It is quite fun.
Welcome to another episode of Dead Air.
Yes.
Every 13th of the month.
Of course. Regular as clockwork.
Yeah.
This time around, you'll notice no guest with us. So it's our usual.
Yeah. You know what that means, lah.
Just me and Kyle.
Talking about ghost stories.
Weird stuff with you guys. Nice intimate setting. You know, two of us got our tea down here and everything all ready to go. So we're back for another episode where it's just the two of us. One particular supernatural related topic. And of course, even though we're not live, we invite all of you to participate in the comments, give suggestions, tell us how right or how wrong we are about this topic.
Yeah.
And this topic for this evening is, we did scary schools before, we did haunted highways before. So now we're going to do horrifying hospitals.
Yeah. Just let us know what else you want to talk. I want us to talk about next, lah.
Yeah.
But I need to address one comment. People keep saying that I look away when I'm when people are talking, lah. But actually I look away because the equipment is here. It's not that I'm distracted or using my phone. And when I'm checking my phone, I'm checking for Instagram questions. So please, Karen, please. I'm not being rude. I'm just doing multiple jobs at once.
I know you meant Karen like in the broad sense, but I would like to believe, right? You were targeting just one person named Karen. Then you're like, hey,
no,
Karen,
no.
you specifically.
Yeah. So anyway, hospitals. I fucking hate hospitals.
Wow.
I really don't like hospitals because they are the epitome of new life, which is aka a baby, which I am terrified of, and death, which I'm not so afraid of, but it's just so gloomy and so,
hang on,
how to say, like depressing.
No. Stop.
Right.
We need to go back a little bit down here. Did you just say you're terrified of babies but not scared of death?
I mean, I don't want to have a kid, lah. But
I also don't want to have a kid, lah. But like terrified.
Yeah. It's like, babies, they are very prone to virus and stuff, right? Then, and also they carry a lot of nasty virus, especially a kid, lah. Like,
yes.
So I think there's that fear, and like hospital got the I mean, don't want to trigger you guys, lah, but trigger warning. Got the whole smell of urine, blood, and like the whole like antiseptic smell. Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to our healthcare workers. Like really, like actually, what you guys are doing is a very good thing. But it's just like, it's not for me, man. And I've been in hospitals, not personally for my own thing, lah, like for other people, enough to know that it sucks. I mean, to tangent, right, there was one time that I was there during Chinese New Year. It was for a medical emergency for someone around me, lah. Then I went there, and I only realized it after I went out of the A&E. So it was at this particular hospital in the east of Singapore, and this which will link to the next the hospital. But basically, right, what happened was I think I heard what sounded like someone's friend dying in the A&E. Ooh. So I was the person that I was with was taking some blood tests. So I walked around the hospital. Right. Nothing to do what? 10 p.m. Nothing to do, walk around. Then I stumbled upon the A&E section where, they have a separate entrance where the ambulance is for serious stuff one. And then they have like an operating theater right after it. And I heard what sounded like someone dying. Ooh. Like you hear the teet, teet, teet. For some reason it was fucking loud. And then after that, I heard someone saying, no! Like, it's not funny, but it's really sounded like someone in distress. Like, no! Then he started crying, like behind the doors, lah. Then I was like, fuck. That's hardcore.
This is how much this topic clearly disturbs Carl. He's sworn 3 times in the first maybe 2 minutes of this episode. Yeah. He's always so controlled when it comes to the swearing, but then this time 3 times. Let go.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, that was only after when we went home, and I was like, yeah, I just Chinese New Year, first day of the Chinese New Year is already going to the hospital is like super inauspicious.
Yeah.
Then you do that no wonder I'm a horror creator, man.
I don't know. I feel like, you know how when we have our true crime guests on, and then we always ask them, which one do you think is worse, like hantu or like humans? And the answer is always humans.
It's always humans.
I feel like that cuts in several different ways. Like what you just described, the incident you just described, right? To me, sounds just as, if not to some people, probably more terrifying than maybe seeing a ghost.
Yeah.
So like literally while you're saying it now, and since you brought up babies also, I was like thinking to myself, like, if I tried to balance out how many times I've been to a hospital for a good thing, like the birth of a child, versus how many times I've been there for an emergency or some terrible thing has happened, right? It at the very least starts off as a terrible thing.
It's always a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you also, we can go into that, but we are not that kind of podcast lah. But declining birth rates and shit lah. But
yeah.
But anyway, hospitals, right? Yeah, hospital is basically the line between life and death.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You give birth, like it's kind of fucked up because usually the birthing suite is like second or third floor.
Yeah.
And then just underneath in the basement is the morgue.
Yeah. But also, I mean, like, it's if it was so neat to divide it that way, right? At least it wouldn't seem so bad. But even then, also, like, I mean,
bro, it's like it's such an irony.
It is, but bear in mind also, like, even in birthing suite, like, it's horrible, but tragedies can happen down there also. So even in the place where it's
actually
supposed to be joy,
true. That's true.
So it's
so all hospital haunted lah.
Probably lah. I can't think of one hospital where I think to myself, no, this one confirm safe.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the rambling and I'm gonna go give you guys a quick story. Okay, this happened in the New Changi Hospital. This is a while back already lah. When my grandmother, she was towards the end of her life and she had to stay in a single ward. And I think I've told this story, but I never really specifically say who it involves. But I think we, as a family, we took turn to see her, to stay with her because she didn't want to stay alone, and she had like a single room lah. And I really knew that going to this particular hospital, I know of a lot of stories that happened there, even the new one. And I was prepared. I mean, I wore my amulet and stuff. I was prepared. So I there was one day I took the early morning shift, so we had to go over and take over from my relatives. So me and my wife, we went there. So I was sitting facing my grandmother on her bed like that lah. Then behind me is the door. Like there's a small alleyway and not a small walkway and then a door. And then in front of me is my wife who's sitting with her back facing to the window. So it's a very small room lah. Then behind me is the walkway and then beside that is like a small toilet.
Single ward, right?
Single ward.
Okay.
And basically she suddenly she was like on like pretty lot of drugs lah, like because to ease the pain, and she was in and out. Then she suddenly was like, okay, she's like, Carl, why is there an American kid behind you? It's like, and she said it in Hokkien for those who understand. I mean, it's pretty funny. Then I was like, whoa.
It's pretty funny because I've met your grandmother before.
yeah. And I was like, what? Then she started pointing behind. You didn't see it, man? It's like, he's behind you. Then I'm like, really, man? Then in the field of my rage, I was like, okay, I get it. When you're about to pass on, it's either the drugs or your mind is replaying certain scenes in your life and then playing back, right? But it could be spiritual also.
Yeah.
So I got pissed off. I was like, don't disturb my grandma. Then I started turning and I started scolding the air. I said, hey, fuck off. I said, don't disturb my grandmother. And then I turned to her. I said, is it still there? She's like, it's gone.
But was she distressed about the fact that
she was like, she's more like, hey, you see that one or you see that or not? You see that or not?
He come to wrong ward.
Yeah. And then like my sister and my aunt, they took the night shift most of the time, and my sister said that she can feel the chills, man. She can feel like people standing behind her. She can feel like the chill. And then my grandmother saw even more things during then, like American soldiers or British soldiers. I know she just said Ang Mo lah, like standing behind her. And started seeing dead relatives.
Okay, because that was the next question I was going to ask you.
There was one point she saw her mother.
Right.
She was saying like, Mom, you're there, like Mom. And my mom is sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, but it could be the drugs also lah.
I mean, it could be.
That's when we knew, like, I mean, the doctors already told us, like, you have to be mentally prepared. I mean, she passed on peacefully lah, but it's very creepy lah. Like,
Yeah.
and then we also made arrangements to bring her back home because I know that it's very terrifying, even if it's not ghosts. It is very terrifying to die in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because it's not your own home. You don't have the luxuries.
Yeah.
And I think my grandmother's karma is good to the point where she's able to pass on in her own room lah, which I feel like is a blessing.
Yeah.
Because you're in your comfort surrounded with people that you love.
Yeah.
But at the same time, right, whenever I think of the hospital incident, I was like, damn, imagine if you die in a hospital room. Does your soul linger in that particular room for the for that period of time?
See, that's why I wonder as well, in the sense that if I'm remembering this correct, because it was quite a while back, one of my relatives passed on in a hospital. I actually cannot remember which hospital it was. That's how long ago it was. They passed on in a hospital, and then at their wake, another one of my relatives saw the deceased.
Oh yeah.
So that's the thing. I don't like. Okay, if you pass on and the hospital is haunted, then why do they visit the wake? Where will their souls? Will the souls just be there?
It depends on your mode of belief, right?
Yeah lah.
It really depends.
Yeah.
Like the Chinese has a different belief. It's basically, even if you reincarnate, a part of your existing soul or spirit will still stay in that particular realm. So it is a part of your consciousness in a sense. So there's a saying, the San Hun Qi Po, there's 7 souls within a person's body. That's the Chinese belief lah.
Right.
So like one part of it is there.
Right.
Which is, yeah. So I could feel that it could be remnants, but because we are a few months away from Incredible Tales already, like as Art would say, it's energies. It is existing energies that's due to the place lah. So that's the story that will link to our first hospital that's very haunted. Singapore represent +65. I don't know if we're gonna take down notice, but passion made possible. Thank you very much.
Technically true. I have to say very, very well. I love how it was a personal story and everything. Yeah. Also the segue. The moment you started that story, I was like, wow, this guy. Yeah. We've come so far since our first date.
Yep.
So okay, the one we have to start with, obviously for us, is Old Changi Hospital. Bit of history. Hospital was built by the British in 1935 as part of a military base. In 1942, however, do you all remember what happened in 1942? If you don't, you really need to brush up on history. It was taken over by the Japanese, who used it as a holding area for prisoners of war and a place where I can never remember. Kempeitai, yes. They supposedly set up torture chambers. After World War II, the hospital went through like a number of transformations. Like it changed different hands, became different things to different people. But it officially closed in 1997.
Slight tangent. My dad actually did a few rotations in Changi Hospital. Back in the day, when he was a police officer, Changi Hospital had I think one little police post, very small police post, and he was just one guy. I was like, why? He said back in the day, I think maybe manpower issue. Yeah. So there's only one guy. So he unfortunately he had the task of doing patrolling and stuff when he was active lah. I think it was the 1980s.
Yeah.
So 1980s. So it was like he said, wow, it was damn creepy. That place is damn. The energy is off the charts. And that's the thing. So when we were doing research on this as well, there's still more to unpack on here lah. But when we're doing research, it struck me how, in my mind, Old Changi Hospital has been abandoned for most of my life. I did not realize that it only officially closed in 1997. Yeah. So
my friend, I'm thinking to myself when we were teenagers, we used to go down there. But that means that it was in our late teens when we went down there. My friends, not me lah. Yeah. When my friends went down there, because I'm a coward. All my friends were going, I was like, no thank you.
No, I'm saying in the age difference.
Oh yes, that okay.
I was still crawling when 1997.
Yes, we get it. But 1997, age, make a clear distinction of how old I am lah. I was 15 at the time.
Yeah.
In my head, for some reason, I always thought Old Changi Hospital had been closed since at least the late 80s, early 90s. So in my head, I'm that's because I have no recollection of And we've talked about this before. There was a sports club in Changi that's directly opposite where Old Changi Hospital is. And as a kid, used to go to that sports club. And I always thought to myself, like, the bus stop across from the sports club, very creepy. I never knew why. I never knew that just above the bus stop is Old Changi Hospital.
Yes.
So in my head, that place has always been abandoned because I don't remember it ever being active. To be fair, when I was a kid, I was only thinking to myself, we're gonna go swimming today. So the timeline of when it closes. And
so you're saying that there was a chance that it was still active when you went around.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely was active.
Oh,
so it definitely was active when I was a kid.
Interesting.
So when I was going to the sports club and everything, I'll go across. As a kid with my parents, we'll wait at the bus stop across the street, and right above where we were waiting for the bus to go back home, right, that's where Old Changi Hospital was.
Yeah, I know of that bus stop.
So the whole time we were there, right, it's been active now.
Yeah, so my dad also said that. Then I asked him that. They said, Changi is probably one of the hospitals that was active, during that period. They served the eastern side of Singapore. Yeah. And he said that there were a lot of accident victims.
Yeah,
that were there.
Yeah.
They say, and of course, occasional murders lah.
Yeah. But okay, so just to go back a little bit, so there's a lot to unpack when it comes to Old Changi Hospital. So there's before we even get to the ghosts, there were rumors of Satanists using the grounds to conduct rituals. It does not help that when 95% of the time, right, when you look for photos of Old Changi Hospital, what you're gonna see is the graffiti of the pentagram,
nice,
and then the 666, and then I still remember one of the images is the pentagram 666 looked very threatening, and then on the wall opposite, right, somebody spray painted "fuck yeah." It's sure, okay. And people have seen ghosts of every kind there. So you've got your British soldiers, you've got your Japanese soldiers, you've got civilians, you've got medical staff, you've got POWs, there's stories of Kat P and all the other creatures. Essentially, right, if you think of Singapore's greatest hits in terms of supernatural, right, it feels like Old Changi Hospital is our greatest hits.
Yeah.
It covers everything. You see strange figures in corridors also.
Yeah.
Even our friend Eugene, when he was doing the tours down there as well.
Yeah.
Some people caught on video, what was it? The window opening?
Yeah, but that wasn't the Changi Hospital. So just to add on to your research, from what I understand of my memory is that when it was built as a military base, it was an entire section.
Yeah.
So it is on top of a hill, and then there were other barracks.
Yes.
As part of the Eastern Command of the British.
Yeah.
So there were commando barracks and stuff. So a few of the barracks that's leading up towards Old Changi Hospital, they have been since been refurbished. So there was one particular one that was refurbished into Raintree Hotel.
Right.
Which I had the pleasure of exploring before it was turned into a hotel. Back then, there were no security cameras, so you can just free roam. But not saying that you should lah.
You should not. You should not.
So it's an entire barracks, and then they turned it into a hotel. And after a few years, of course, it went out of business lah. As a horror creator, I would like to believe that it's the spirits that caused the thing lah. But maybe as a business owner, it's just a bad business sense lah. To open a supposedly haunted hotel without banking on the horror feature. If you bank on the horror feature, I tell you, you'll make a lot of money.
I feel like you would have made a lot of money at the start.
Yeah.
Then after a while, people are maybe not.
I don't know lah. But anyway, so it has the buildings that lead up to the Old Changi Hospital. So Eugene Tay from Supernatural Confessions, he actually said that they do the Haunted Changi tour, and then there was one time that I think he was filming one of the windows that there is already now that the place is already abandoned. The hotel is no longer there. Yeah. But then the windows start opening and closing. Yeah. Because there was no wind. And I think the spirits were not happy. I can't really remember what Eugene said. Eugene said that maybe the spirits were not happy because he was doing the tours without their permission or something lah. And eventually he had to settle it. So if it's still running, you should join the Haunted Changi tour, which we will eventually, I guess.
Yes. Most likely for me, at least against my will.
I think I'm more concerned about the mosquitoes. The mosquito will be quite bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that whole area, when you go, right, you can feel it's quite weird. I've been there a few times. I've been to Old Changi Hospital itself, inside itself. It has a weird smell. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure lah.
it's strange that I never talked about the smell, but it has a weird smell.
I think the weird smell is just old. Like literally, it's just the smell of disuse, abandonment, and just like
Abandonment.
not in that sense, but you know, it's like nobody goes in there except maybe like a couple of security guards. Nobody's like maintaining the place. It's sure if what would freak me out more, right? If it smelled perfectly fine, that would really.
There was what should we call it? There was a meme of this
of Old Changi Hospital.
No.
Okay.
Of this person. So there was a meme of this particular spiritual person that went to Old Changi, and then she supposedly has the third eyes, and somebody asked her, how many spirits are there? She said somewhere along the line, a few 100,000. And it became a meme, and
this wasn't Nakia, right?
No. It became a meme, and they took down the video afterwards. It's very strange. And then she was saying like there were like demon lords in there and stuff. But I think the consensus is that whatever's in there cannot come out.
Right. Yeah. And I can't remember whether we were discussing this, but it's also like a gateway, right? That area.
Yes, it is a gateway. I mean, maybe the Satanists did what they got lah. They, they open up a pentagram, they open a hole lah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just the way that the energy flows.
Yeah.
But based on research, is that a lot of spiritual masters have actually went down there to try to, get them out, but to no avail because it's too strong already.
Slight tangent. You remember how you mentioned that the hotel down there went out of business quite quickly, right?
Yeah.
I think we found our next series.
What?
Scary hotels.
Oh, yeah. Scary hotels. If you like, let us know.
If you want, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's weird that, the government has this plan to rejuvenate the whole of Changi.
Yes.
I think it's a major task to change the mindset, because for our non-Singaporean friends, Changi has always been associated with two things: Changi Airport, world's best airport, right?
Yep.
And the Sukching massacre, which is the Japanese committing atrocities towards the Chinese, ethnic cleansing lah.
Yeah.
Kill a lot of Chinese and then chop off their heads on the beach.
Yeah.
So it's known for being haunted, but at the same time, one of the best airports in the world. So how do you tackle that weird branding?
That's the thing. I do wonder, right? And our younger fans, please chime in on this, whether, because you and I know of the area and its reputation, and I'm sure our younger listeners and the younger viewers know, but how much stock do they place in it? How much of a hold does it have on them? Because for us, right, bear in mind, we grew up with Old Changi Hospital being Old Changi Hospital,
No, but Changi itself also.
Changi itself also, but I also feel like if you think of horror when it comes to Changi, right, it starts with Old Changi Hospital. It spreads out from there, sure.
Yeah.
But it starts at that place. So I do wonder whether it has that same hold as it did with our generations, as it does with the current generations, or do they think of it as it's kind of cute that there's a haunted place on there? Because if that's the case, then I see how the government can go let's just refurbish it, because nobody believes in this.
I mean,
anymore.
I think it times
Yeah.
I think time heals all. But
Yeah.
Changi is the very specific, very unique kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I agree.
So they want to basically refurbish Old Changi Hospital into an astrology astronomy tower.
Yeah.
So you can see, apparently the conditions there is very good lah.
I mean, it's
but
top of the hill lah.
I don't know. I think you might see other things than, we've mentioned this a lot of times. I think you might mention things. But if they really do it, I want to go in. I want to go just because I can go in to what used to be Changi Hospital legally.
I will say, its vantage point, right, it will make a fantastic place for stargazing. No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But yeah lah. I'm
Yeah. Exactly, right. Yeah, so I think one of the stories that I've always heard about Changi Hospital is people go in, right?
Yep.
They go in 7 people, 8 people, come out 1 more. Or they play catching. but then they cannot find each other.
Yeah.
Cannot blocked by ghosts or something.
Yeah.
Then things follow them back.
Yep.
You had a few stories for Old Changi Hospital as well. It's the usual thing lah. So from Tales from Incredible Tales, if I recall correctly, there was one story that was shared with us by Kai. Basically, Kai did the whole Haunted Changi tour.
Yeah.
And then something followed him back.
Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he seeks spiritual help lah.
Yeah.
And basically spiritual master was like, oh no lah, I don't think that is something from the hospital. It's something around the hospital that followed you. Because whatever's inside the hospital cannot come out. I don't know what deal was struck, but you can see from time to time like, if you go to Old Changi Hospital, you can go to the outside, you cannot go inside anymore, but you go outside the gate, right? You can see there are prayers, there are like
offerings,
the Tibetan flags.
Yeah.
People are going there to do, I think, merits lah, or spiritual training. Especially, spiritual master, they go there to train. To see how high level lah. Yeah. But we both have a shared experience lah. Is when we did the collab with
Set Maker.
Yeah, Set Maker. We basically adapted ghost maps into a walking trail thing where you can walk in Changi and then you walk, all the way to Old Changi Hospital. So we did the walk ourselves to test it out with Rupert, the founder of Set Maker. And yeah, it was in the day, right?
It was in the day, yeah.
Yeah, well, that walk was shack, man. Going up the hill.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we were just resting there. And then just nice. Security came. They were checking the other buildings.
Yes.
And they were asking us, what are you doing here? No, we're just taking a walk, and see. Yeah, I was very tempted to ask them, got ghost story. But I knew that it wasn't the right place.
No.
Because if you ask got ghost story, the ghost straight away lie down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you talking about me?
Yeah, exactly. We know the boundaries, especially Old Changi Hospital.
Yeah.
We were right outside the gates.
I think you and I, Rupert to a certain extent, were probably very conscious of not talking about ghosts at all.
Yeah. But the irony is that we were doing it for ghost content.
Yes. Like I remember us like just focusing on the fact like, oh, we're really tired walking up this hill. Oh, we're so unfit. Let's rest here for a while.
Yeah. No, after that we went to have Nando's lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took a bus, we went to have Nando's. Because we were scared that, the HANTU follow us. So we dropped them off at Tampines.
One of the best kind of cleansing experiences, Nando's. Nando's, if you're looking to sponsor an episode of Dead oh boy, would we love to have you.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, this is a low hanging fruit lah, but like all of you guys out there,
passion made it possible. We have
passion made possible.
We have to rap.
Oh, we're so gonna get into trouble for that one. But no, if you guys have, and I'm sure a lot of you have like stories from Old Changi Hospital, leave them in the comments because I think we've barely scratched this. We could probably do an entire episode of Old Changi Hospital.
Yeah.
But if you guys have like stories, share them in the comments. Like we said, even though this is not a live episode, keep the conversation for this one going in the comments on there.
Yeah, and also like for our non-Singaporean friends, if you want to find out more about the hospital, there is a mockumentary that is made called Haunted Changi. Not particularly the best film ever, but it really managed to capture what it's like to be in a horror scene like Changi Hospital, and they actually shot on location. Yeah. Which I think nowadays it's very hard to get access. I don't know how they got the access, but they actually got access to shoot the whole feature film in there. So do watch it. You can find ways to find it on the internet lah. Yeah.
Don't leave it at that.
Okay, the next one on the list is actually one of my favorites lah.
Really?
The Gongjam Psychiatric Hospital in South Korea.
Huh.
Yeah. No, because I watched the film. Gongjam.
That's right.
Gongjam Asylum. It's called Gongjam Asylum. Yeah.
I think it's Gongjam Haunted Asylum or something like
that. Yeah, that was terrifying, that film. Wow.
Yeah, so it's in the Gyeonggi-do province. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. And it was opened in 1982. So it's as old as I am.
Nice.
Yeah. But shut down a little more than 10 years later in 1996. I have to say, like, I see why this is one of your favorites, because there's a lot of interesting stories and rumors about the place. So the rumors began to spread that the reason for the hospital's closure was that patients had died from mysterious causes. The most prevalent theory was that they were murdered by the hospital's owner. So eventually people began to believe that the hospital was haunted by the spirits of these murdered patients. And that's not even like the main rumor. There's like a few of those main rumors. Like another one of the rumors was that some doctors and the hospital's director had been possessed by spirits, not the same spirits that were killed, different spirits.
Damn.
And the director was driven to unalive himself. Here's the thing. A lot of, at the very least, right, like these are all the rumors and everything. So the hauntings is one thing, but like all this backstory, a lot of the backstory behind the hauntings have been debunked, or at the very least, right, they're not as, the stories don't really hold up over time.
Yeah.
Like, so, okay, the real reason for the hospital's closure, it's been documented that it's sewage issues, which, you know, that kind of smell also scary lah. You know, it's not mysterious patient deaths. The director that supposedly unalived himself allegedly went on to open a new psychiatric hospital in another province. You know, but it doesn't take away the fact that the place could still be considered haunted. Like, if you look at photos of the place,
Yeah.
that looks like, okay, I don't play video games as much as you. But when you play like your Resident Evil and your Silent Hill and what have you, right? That's exactly what I picture. I'm looking at the place, right? And it looks exactly like your more stereotypical abandoned hospital haunted area.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos of people actually exploring that place.
Yeah.
It's actually very hard to get to apparently, because it's like surrounded in woods already. Yeah. So it checks the box. First of all, many people died. Okay.
Yes.
Many people died. Abandoned hospital.
Yeah.
Plus the psychiatric aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like a less hardcore version of Singapore's View Road Hospital, which is at the Admiralty West there. Because at one point Woodbridge was a bit overcrowded. Then they had they had to have another hospital for mentally ill patients, but specifically schizophrenic patients in that particular. And then, you know, then it was abandoned. Then the rumor started. A lot of ghosts at that area. So I think it is a more hardcore version of that.
Yes. Yeah.
If you've seen that film, dude, like that film, right, is probably one of the scariest film I've ever watched. And I've watched like a lot of scary films. That one, I don't know, there's just the way that the hospital is laid out.
Was it shot on location?
I'm not sure if it's shot on location. Actually, let me check. Actually, you might be right. It might be shot on location. but the way they shot it is found footage lah.
Yeah.
Found footage plus POV camera kind of thing.
I mean, I look, I haven't seen the movie, but I can't imagine, like, you know, if even if it wasn't shot on location, right, what you can see of the hospital itself, right, if you just recreate that, that's scary enough. Like your set designers for that film probably like, I don't really have to do that much work in terms of research. Just look at photos of the hospital, can already.
Yeah, most of the film was shot in a high school in Busan. Right. So actually, but they try to recreate it to the exact.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, just to touch on the film lah, like the owner of the asylum actually filed a lawsuit against the filmmakers. For that film, and then the court ruled favor in the filmmakers. They allow them to film. But in 2018, just nice when 2 months after the film came out, they demolished the hospital. Yeah.
The owner, I think it was the owner's son by that point who had taken over. Like the original, when the hospital's open, like that owner, his son had taken over the land or whatever it is. So that's probably, like, it was probably him and his dad, or him at least, who sued the filmmakers. And again, I haven't seen the film, but I can't imagine like all these rumors were helped by that film coming out. Because these rumors sound terrible and it makes the staff sound awful.
Okay, so let's go into theory.
Right.
In your theory, you're the one who did the research, right? In your theory, do you think that it was actually haunted?
Okay. It will be very difficult for me to look at those photos and not think it's haunted. Let's put it that way. Okay, just looking at the place itself, right? If it's not haunted, it's really, really creepy. Here's the thing. I can believe that it's haunted. I do not buy any of the backstories that they had. The murdered patients, the this, the that. I'm sure people had died in that hospital. As people will most likely die in almost any hospital.
Right.
And I think that's the deaths themselves probably were tragic in the sense that there was suffering. And I think that's what causes the spirits. I do not believe the stuff about like, oh, this man was possessed and then he went on a killing spree, or he unalived himself, or you know, the mysterious patient deaths and everything. I feel like all that stuff, it's unnecessary, because you look at that place, you don't need backstory for that place. You really don't. Like, okay, when we think, going back to Old Changi Hospital, when you think of Old Changi Hospital, you think of the history of the place, but you don't think of like specific stories, right? You don't think, oh, this person was running through Old Changi Hospital with like a parang and killing. You don't think of stuff like that. You look at the place and you go, haunted. Confirm haunted. Same for this hospital. I look at the photos, I'm like, haunted. I don't need to know your backstory. The backstory for me takes away from the haunting. So I'm like, but haunted.
So in your view, it's because it has such an intricate backstory. Therefore, it seems
it ruins it for me.
It seems more falsified lah.
Correct.
Interesting.
That's the thing. Like, okay, when the Old Changi Hospital movie came out, right? Already then, right, there was all the rumors circulating about the place being haunted. I feel like the rumors were so strong, you didn't need the Old Changi movie to bolster. I mean, the Old Changi movie is a thing in and of itself lah, but like, you didn't need that to like make it seem more scary. I feel like a lot of these rumors were played up because of the movie. I haven't seen the movie, the Haunted Asylum movie, but I feel like a lot of the rumors were probably played up by it. If the owner or the owner's son was suing the filmmakers, I think that's unnecessary. That place just looks haunted already.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, right? I mean, looking at the Google coordinates of that place, right? It's just right now. It's
surrounded by forest.
No, but it's being developed already.
Yeah.
So it's an industrial area actually. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean now lah,
Yeah, it's not that bad.
And that's the thing, like, but I mean, it goes back to what you said, like the whole, people always misunderstand psychiatric hospitals and they're like, oh my god, all these crazy people down there. Like, it's a place for treatment like anywhere else. But hospitals in and of themselves just come with that vibe. The stereotype, I think, adds on to it, but it's an unfortunate stereotype that adds on to it. But quite frankly, you look at those photos, you don't really need the stereotype, you don't need anything else. You just look at the pictures and you go, haunted, confirm haunted.
Yeah, because I for me lah, when I look at it, I'm like, it's as haunted as any abandoned building.
Correct.
When it's empty, no life, probably ghosts move in lah.
That's
but I don't think like having like this this intricate story, right? I feel like no lah. I don't think so lah. I don't think that actually happened lah. And I like to think that, you know, the South Koreans, they're very pro media. So if that shit actually happened,
correct,
they would like plaster the hell out of it.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Funnily enough, that will tie into one of the other hospitals that we're looking at later on, but we'll get to that later on. But yeah, you know how people always complain, wow, Star Wars, they make a movie out of everything in Star Wars. This one character will get his own movie kind of thing. It's like that. I don't need to know the backstory of this place. I just need to look at the photos. Sorry, it goes back to what you were saying. The place is abandoned. And I've heard you talk before about like how if a space is abandoned for a long stretch of time, the spirits are like, okay, that's mine now. I'm moving in there. Choke. That one, I choked this place.
So if let's say the ghosts, right, they move into an abandoned building, is that what they call, like what you know, the
squatters?
Squatters, right? The squatter.
I literally was thinking that to myself.
Audience question. Let me ask you guys this. If the ghosts move into an abandoned building that has living owners, it's just that it's abandoned for whatever reason, can they enact squatters' right or not? So if let's say they get like a spiritual master to clear the spirits, can they enact squatter rights? And is it morally right or not?
Yeah, okay. I feel like it's not like they're squatting there because they cannot pay rent.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, they cannot actually pay rent.
Okay.
But I mean, we've heard before stories of ghosts giving people like 40 numbers, right? Technically, they could use that as a form of paying rent lah.
Wow. That needs a lot of power actually.
Yes, I think what you need is a spiritual real estate agent to come in and negotiate between the owner and the spirits.
Yeah. By the way, the light off, right? Not because of ghosts, because he ran out of battery.
I'm gonna say because actually, you know what, battery lah. Battery. I'm right here. I'm like, no, yeah, battery.
You want to scare yourself?
Yeah, I don't want to scare myself.
I can see that the battery is empty, bro. Yeah.
But yeah, Squatter, yeah. I think before we even get to the question of squatters' rights, I think anybody who has this problem needs to just hire a very spiritually sensitive real estate agent.
Huh. You give us another idea, like property agents with ghost stories.
Oh,
maybe,
I like that.
Maybe next season, I don't know.
There you go. So, for nearly 100 years,
Yes.
and across multiple wars like World War II and the Vietnam War, wounded American soldiers stationed in the Philippines were treated at Clark Air Base Hospital in the city of Mabalacat. Again, apologies if I'm mispronouncing this. It is because of that violent history that hospital had earned the nickname. Again, I don't know. I don't know how you justify this and what the criteria is, but it earned the nickname the most haunted place in the Philippines. Seems like quite a bold title. So residents who live nearby have claimed to see everything from Hitler's ghosts to glowing orbs, and have heard people screaming from within the grounds of the hospital. Okay, the hospital might have a somewhat happy ending because after decades of like sitting abandoned, it's going to be turned into a museum that features exhibitions on local history, art, and culture. I don't know whether I want to set foot in this museum. It sounds like it could be an interesting place, but I don't know whether I want to set foot in this museum. Yeah. Glowing orbs. When I was doing research on this, I think that's the thing that jumped out at me. Glowing orbs. I find that the least scary type of supernatural occurrance. I don't know why, because it just sounds like something that can happen in nature. Like maybe you saw like a whole bunch of like what they call the firefly bugs or lightning bugs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Clumped together. But yeah, I mean, it's got all the stuff that's set up for it lah. You're treating soldiers who are there for a war, and arguably two very horrific wars, no less, World War II and Vietnam. So it seems like it's all set up for it lah.
I mean, if you scroll through online, some Filipinos are also calling it one of the most haunted places in the world. I'm not surprised actually, because it went through so many, it actually went through World War II.
And World War II and the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
I think
so there's a lot of casualty.
Yeah.
And where Philippines is located at is actually, it will make sense lah for the military, the US military, to use it as a staging area or like a hospital. So I'm not surprised that there's a lot of casualties there.
Yeah.
And Philippines is very unique in a sense whereby it has a cross of both Western and Eastern culture.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, for example, right, they have the Manananggal.
Yeah.
And the Manananggal is a spirit from, Southeast Asian folklore.
Correct. Yeah.
But majority of the Filipinos, they are actually of Christian religion.
Yeah.
So how do you actually defeat a spirit that is not within your religion?
I mean,
I'm not saying that religion is not strong. I'm saying that it doesn't. It's not the
not
same.
compatible.
Yeah, it's like USB-C and lightning cable, different, bro. So I think that's very unique. Take.
I think it's quite similar to. I mean, you look at it, it's quite similar to what we have here, where I've told the story 100 times where my mom is like, "Oh, don't go out during Hungry Roast Month. Don't come back late."
Yeah.
And we're raised Catholic, so I'm like, which part of the Bible they talk about Hungry Roast Month? I don't remember that part.
Because you assimilate the culture so well, right?
Exactly. So I imagine like, after a while, the theory is that, okay, you see a Manananggal, just take out a crucifix lah, or pray the rosary.
Yeah.
There's
quite a few shows that were done. There was this TV documentary that is, basically a bunch of ghost hunters going there.
This is the National Geographic one, is it?
I'm not sure if it's the National Geographic, but it was covered in the news lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's...
Oh yes, it's the National Geographic. It's called I Wouldn't Go There.
Yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't.
I love them if they would do like, Changi Hospital. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, okay, granted, it might be because it's not like I'm going out there researching haunted places all the time.
Yeah.
But Clark Air Base never got on my radar. So I was quite surprised when they said like, it's the most haunted place in the world. I'm like, really? Don't say the world, even in Philippines. Because there's Balate Drive as well.
Yeah.
When I think of
White Lady or
exactly.
Balate Drive.
So
yeah.
when I think of haunted spots in the Philippines, right, that's the one that comes to mind first. That's the one that even before I did research on it, I've heard stories about it already. So that to me like is the most haunted spot. But then, I mean, it's that whole east and west thing lah. Maybe Balate Drive is more famous because it is a Southeast Asian story and not just necessarily it's a place haunted because American soldiers were there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe the land it's still around. It's not demolished, right?
Yeah.
There are people still going there to do ghost hunting.
And there are residents nearby, so it's not like it's...
But there are rumors. There's rumors that it's on the internet that people are saying that the US might take back the military base, given the geopolitical situation that's going around Philippines right now. So the US might want to station more soldiers there. I don't know. Yeah, but then that would be quite unique, right? Imagine it's abandoned for so many years, and then you have like a whole bunch of new troops moving in. Then you need to refurbish the place. I think that will make a really good film. I know.
No, it's on one hand I'm like, yeah, the filmmaker, and you on the other hand I'm just picturing like almost like a comedy where like the ghosts from the previous wars, they start training the younger soldiers. So it's like Jahid but with hantu instead.
No hit.
Oh,
No hit.
instead of Full Metal Jacket, Ghost Metal Jacket.
Well, sounds like anime.
Yeah, it does.
Ghost Metal Jacket.
Ghost Metal.
No, sound like anime.
You're thinking of Full Metal Alchemist, huh?
Yeah, exactly. No hit.
No hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Our friends from Philippines, let us know.
Oh yeah, please, because like...
If you all got stories from there. But I sure know that there will definitely be a form of Pontianak in that place. I'm confirmed. Southeast Asia folklore, right? It's confirmed another version one.
Yeah. Well,
the lady with long hair there.
But that's the thing, like you when you research it, right, it's all like ghosts and orbs and screams and everything. And that's that thing. So when you're giving the comments, guys, all our fans of the Philippines, do you agree with what they said, where they say it's the most haunted place in the Philippines or the most haunted place in the world? From your perspective as locals, particularly if you're from the area as well, do you think it's the most haunted place in the world? Or would you say like somewhere like Balate Drive deserves more of a reputation than Clark Air Base? Like that, we would be interested to hear what you guys think about that. Yeah.
I mean, my personal opinion is probably not lah. In my opinion, based on the research I've done, based on the things that I've seen, it is Skinwalker Ranch. Definitely the most haunted place in the world.
Oh yeah, he's very consistent on this one.
Because, first of all, aliens. Have you seen the documentary? Aliens. And it's called Skinwalker Ranch.
Can you do the...
Right.
When you say aliens, can you do
aliens?
There we go.
The Skinwalker Ranch.
What if you all make that into a GIF, please?
Yeah. Skinwalkers, orbs, apparitions, aliens. God damn. It's near to Area 51 as well.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the thing, like, okay, like I said, apparitions, aliens, all that, fair enough. Orbs, I cannot be scared by orbs. They're glowing balls.
Okay, what if the orbs, right, is basically a Pontianak turning into their bat mode? Like, bat, then become orb, then flying. But then when it turns back, it turns into full-grown Pontianak.
But then I'll still be more scared of the Kakpi than in their previous form. Because all I'm seeing is a tennis ball with lights.
I think he's challenging Kakpi.
I am not. I absolutely am not. I wanna make this very clear. I am not challenging Kakpi or any other entity here, okay? Maybe if it's just an orb, it might be a slight challenge. But not even a massive challenge. Just like really a difference of opinion at best. Alright? Like spiritual orbs out there, please don't come and start haunting me now just to prove that you're scary. I do not think you are, but I do not want to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
So
moving on.
Alright.
One of my favorite cities in the world. It's really strange lah, but I love Hong Kong.
I don't know why that's strange. Why would it be strange that you love Hong Kong?
Because if you're from Singapore, right, you're not supposed to love another metropolitan city. Yeah. Like because it's so dense, people are like everywhere. Like you want somewhere relaxing. Like I ask my friends, they're like, oh, I like Tokyo. Then I tell them I like Hong Kong a lot. And they're like, yo, weird. It's like essentially like Singapore. They're like, no, but it's different.
I don't know. I come from the generation where a lot of people I knew love Hong Kong action movie. So
Yeah, exactly. The reason why I love Hong Kong is the same reason as some other alternate reality crowd out there that loves Hollywood. Like Hollywood Boulevard. Because of Hollywood movies. But for me, it's Hong Kong movies. I can tell you certain films, they shot it here, they shot it here, shot it here. Yeah. But anyway.
I'm just picturing like alternate reality hardcore Stanley Kubrick fan Kyle. So weird.
Oh, I'll pretty much be an asshole.
Pretty much.
Yeah. 127 ticks.
Now you just bing. And everybody loves a good bing.
Good bang.
So
you add one A, become good bang. Just saying.
Passion made possible. So, like Old Changi Hospital, at least this one you can correct me if my pronunciation wrong.
Yeah.
Sai Ying Pun.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sai Ying Pun Psychiatry Hospital was taken over by the Japanese during World War II and used as a holding area for POWs. The legend has it that many executions were carried out on its grounds. Honestly, let's be honest here, probably not that surprising to hear that this is one of the legends. So it's built in 1892, but it was left abandoned in 1971. There have been sightings of your usual types of ghosts within the hospital. So you got your headless spirits, you got your shadowy figures and all that. But Sai Ying Pun also has allegedly been home to like some entities that I've never heard of before, for sure. Like there's a demon-looking man in traditional Chinese clothing who, when it makes eye contact with you, he bursts into flames.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the Bing talk, that's a hell of a what you staring at?
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, it also earned the nickname from the locals, the Ghost House on High Street.
Yep.
In the 1990s, however, the Hong Kong government rebuilt most of the structure as a community centre. Kept the historic facade, but the interior was basically turned into a community centre. Have you heard of this hospital before?
Yeah. I've passed by it before. It's actually in a very nice area of Hong Kong. It's on the main Hong Kong island, not the Kowloon Island.
Yeah.
So they've refurbished it into like very nice, I guess, community center. It retains the main structure but there were ghost walks that were conducted.
I'm sure.
I think during the 7th month or or Halloween, because people like the spooks, right? But I at that point, right, I wasn't a horror creator yet, and I didn't have the balls to do it. My wife was like, "Hey, do it." And I said, "Don't want, I'm scared."
I think now,
but now I will probably do not because horror, because probably like I think the history element is quite,
exactly.
I want to go in and see. You know, if there is a guy who can burst into flames, right? That guy not Human Torch, they want Spirit Torch. Flame on, ghost on. No, what?
I'm not gonna lie. I'll pay good money, right? When the new Fantastic Four movie comes out, somebody dubs every flame on to "Hwala."
Yeah, I think it's the same. It's the same thing again. Like psychiatric hospitals get a bad name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this one go through different things.
Correct.
Yeah. That like like Singapore went through the Japanese occupation. I'm sure they committed atrocities there.
Yeah.
And also it was left alone for quite a while, right? Like 20 years, I think.
Yeah. It's about 20 years that it was abandoned. So like between 70s to the 90s.
And it actually functioned as a normal hospital at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this one is quite the interesting location, because Hong Kong, right, is damn dense. It's a lot more dense than Singapore, and it's very hilly.
Right.
So if you look at the photos of this place, right, it's actually part of it, right, is on the slope.
Yeah.
Downwards, and then you have neighbors already. Like you can see the neighbors. So I think what would be interesting, right, is somebody go and talk to the neighbors. Hey, this one haunted lah.
And that's the thing, like
what the neighbors would see at night, especially during Hungry Ghost Month.
Because
do they burn extra?
Yeah, because that's the interesting thing. Like, in a lot of ways, it's very similar to Old Changi Hospital. You know, you've got the history of World War II. You've got holding POW. It's a holding area for POWs. There's all these legends of, you know, these massacres happening within its grounds during World War II. So there's that shared history almost with Old Changi Hospital. But where Old Changi Hospital is up on a hill, this one's literally got neighbors.
Yeah, bro.
I honestly, those ghost spots, I would go for them, right? Mostly because I'm curious to see how it feels. Especially in a neighborhood like that, where you've got people surrounding you all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the list lah, of one of the most haunted places in Hong Kong. Actually. Yeah. It now is renamed to I believe High Street Community Centre. High Street is quite a nice area. It leads towards the atas area of Hong Kong, all the rich people where they stay on. Yeah. So I think this is like the second or third time that we mentioned a place in Hong Kong. The last time was Tai Kak, Kai Tak Primary School.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think like Singapore, it has gone through this kind of I would say tragedy.
Yeah.
And you know, colonial roots as well. So I'm not surprised that, you know, they have a lot of locations that are like that.
Yeah.
And Hong Kong is slightly larger than Singapore. So there are a lot of locations that are that went through certain things. So for example, there was one old police I think police quarters that that when now they have turned it into like a kind of like a creative hub. So a lot of like small shops, they like indie brands, they go there. So it used to be police quarters, and I heard from some of the people there it was haunted.
Yeah,
but now it looks damn spanky and shiny, like very indie. So all the fashion brands, all the, you know, small indie brands, they like to build their base there lah. But you still get that sense of creepiness, cause they have like those very tight walkways that you know is the old school architecture, and then they have like, it's like HDB lah, like long corridor. Then you got all the shops, right? You can almost imagine at night like how it would feel like. Yeah, and it's on top of a hill. Okay,
I know it's the existing structure that's been refurbished to be like this hub for all the indie brands. Get your thoughts. It's a slight tangent, but if I get your thoughts on this, if a building that's been known to be haunted, let's say, because like if they're turning Old Changi Hospital into, you know, a place for astronomy, an astronomy center. If they tear down the building and rebuild something down there, do you think that it will still be just as haunted?
Depends on what they do, what precautions they do lah.
Okay lah. Let's say they take all the proper precautions and they tear down the building, but the exact same land. So do you think that it's the land that's haunted, or do you think it's the building that's haunted?
I think a bit of both. Because the land it has the feng shui ma.
Okay.
Yeah. It has the feng shui ma. There was an urban legend that went around. I think in the early 90s or late 80s when Bishan was newly built, right? When they still had like that I think that cemetery thing. They had like specifically a resting point from the old cemetery, but they left it for historical reasons. But people started seeing spirits in the or inside the shelter, seeking shelter, like or standing on the shelter. The old spirits lah that were from the cemetery lah, and eventually I think they tore it down. Because you know, to get rid of the spirits or something lah. That was the urban legend that was going around. So I do think that the land and the building, they are linked, but it really depends on how deep the history goes.
Right.
Like for example, the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
Oh bro, that one confirm haunted as hell one.
Confirm.
History tells us that, you know, it was built by a dictator, right? And a lot of people died and they just bury them inside the walls. Wow, I cannot imagine how many spirits are there in the wall itself.
I do wonder whether the spirits decided to stay down there because it's such a popular tourist attraction that they'll just be bothered all the time.
Certain sections only. There are abandoned sections of the Great Wall of China. But yeah, so yeah, I do think that it is linked lah. And if if they do decide to tear down Changi Hospital, which I'm entirely against, I think it has a lot of historical value. I think it should be just left alone, but I am not the government. I think they would be very good at negotiating with all these periods, because see how many exhumed cemeteries we have turned into estates. 2, Bishan and Bidadari.
Yeah.
Both huge estates.
Yeah.
And so far, I mean, people have been quite okay lah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Bishan multiple times. I've been to Bishan multiple times. I literally have relatives down there last time.
Yeah.
And I don't get that sense of Bishan, but that's the thing. I didn't know about Bishan's history when I was a kid.
Neither did I.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I just thought, it's another estate.
Dude, like I used to stay with my cousin, over the weekends, right, at his place in Bishan, and he really it's like his house, right, is facing the MRT station right now.
Right.
And I was fine. Fine. Like as a kid, you were fine in disillusion until my uncle one day said, why you all scared of ghosts? I think we watched Incredible Tales or something. Then we got scared. So we will run down to get the drink.
Yeah.
Then ran up because we scared of ghosts.
Yeah.
As kids. Then he said, why are you scared of ghosts? There's no such thing as ghosts. It's an 80s, by the way. There's no such thing as a ghost. You see, we're staying in what used to be a cemetery. At that point, I was like, you feel like your whole world crushed. It's like, fuck. You've been telling me that I've been sleeping here. Last time cemetery. Oh my god. So then, of course, I tried not to stay there as often as I can. Or whenever my cousin is not at home, then I won't go. So yeah, I think.
Yeah. I will say that the weird, because I did not realize that Bishan was a cemetery until much later.
Yeah.
So at one point, I think the weirdest thing I ever saw in Bishan was there's a hobby shop at Bishan MRT station.
Nice.
And every time you come out, you'll see a whole bunch of kids playing Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
So that was the weirdest thing I ever saw down there.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to Hong Kong.
Yeah. Long tangent around.
Yeah,
this.
long tangent. Back to Hong Kong. I think if there's any stories that were there, please let us know. But there is another hospital that we recently did into an episode, right?
Yeah.
That one is a lot more haunted. A lot more haunted, in my opinion, a lot more haunted than
it's
Sai Kung.
still functioning, right? The hospital.
I think so. What's the name?
I can't for the life of me remember.
Let me search.
I don't even know whether we mentioned it in the episode.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
We mentioned the road.
Right. Yeah. Which means that it must still be functioning then.
No.
Oh really?
Because I think the reason why we didn't do it because it's a hospital for babies.
That's right. Yeah. That's probably why.
Yeah. So in the episode we didn't mention which hospital, but this hospital is basically the Hong Kong Central Hospital lah. It's actually abandoned.
Right.
Yeah. It's no longer in use.
Yeah, I remember because we had to time the story just right, so that the hospital was around as well.
Yeah. So it's abandoned since 2012 actually. And apparently this hospital was a leading provider in offering abortions.
Right.
It depends on your belief lah. But the Chinese, in their belief, is that when you abort a baby, no matter how big or small, it is the greatest sin. You're killing someone. You're taking life away. So therefore, the energies is there lah. So they say they did 6,000 abortions a year. So can you imagine how many spirits are there if that's your sense of belief lah? So of course people will feel that place is quite haunted lah. And I will feel that it is haunted because things will go wrong one right in this kind of procedures. Maybe the mom died also. And then you got female spirits that are created.
That's an interesting thing, like because we talked about psychiatric hospitals and we talk about a hospital that handles this kind of care as well. I do wonder whether a lot of the reputations of these hospitals, right? Again, chances are they're haunted all on their own. They don't need extra help having the reputation of being haunted. But I do wonder whether these almost societal taboos make it worse. Psychiatric hospitals, women's healthcare kind of hospitals. I do wonder whether the taboos just make it worse.
I think certainly lah. I think it definitely does lah. I mean, whenever we talk about mental health on another show, people kaopei. So it does lah. I think it's still a very taboo thing for people to talk about. For people to talk about in our Asian culture lah.
Yeah.
But I do understand the other flip side of it is because people come to the channel to listen to horror to escape.
Yeah.
So when you take that reality away, that non-reality away from them, then they get frustrated. So I completely understand. Yeah. So there's this fine balance that we need to do lah.
Yeah.
But then we are tangenting again lah.
That's okay. See, this is our show. We can do whatever we want on here. But yeah, that hospital, the always got to make sure I get the name right. The Sai Ying Pun Hospital. Yeah, because when I wanted to steer clear of the hospital we already covered, the Hong Kong Central Hospital. So I was looking like... I
understand.
Yeah, so when I was looking for... I wasn't even specifically looking for Hong Kong, but this one came up.
Yeah. But anyway, 5-star review for Sai Ying Pun Hospital, because amongst all the abandoned hospital, you managed to turn your life around. Now you become community center. Hey, now you got old people dancing in your what used to be your grounds lah. So kudos to you.
Okay, but that's it. Clark Air Base Hospital being turned into a museum as well. I mean,
not yet. No. So it really depends on what the US decision is. It's either if they decide to take it back, which I think they are considering, then it will be back into the military installation. If it not, it will be a museum.
Okay.
I think community center better. There's just something. I'm not saying that all Hong Kong residents do, but there's just something about old people doing line dancing that is not fear-inducing. Okay.
Since we're on this topic and since we've tangented this far already.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. Community center, museum, astronomy center.
Let us know in the comments. For me, it's definitely community center is the least scariest. Followed by, because you see, museum, it needs to be dark. For some fucking reason, right? Museum always dark one. Probably because they want to hide the artifacts from the sunlight lah, because you will damage it. Yeah. Astronomy center, don't need to say lah. You only go at night.
No, but that's the okay. Astronomy center, right? If you're going there to stargaze, right?
Yeah,
it's quite romantic. Put aside the location.
Have you seen astronomers before or not?
No, but like if normal people, as if astronomers not normal people, but like everyday ordinary people just going down there, like non-astronomers. They're going there to stargaze. They're going there to see...
I would never go to an astronomy center just to stargaze. Why? You tell me, would you?
I would. It could be very romantic looking up at the stars like that.
You want to look at a star, you just go somewhere with no light lah.
In Singapore, where?
Pongo, I don't know.
Apologies to everybody living in Pongo.
Cemetery, I don't know. Pongo, there are still areas that are uninhabited. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to a cemetery to stargaze.
But have you seen? Nice.
I'm sure it's
nice. I've seen it. It's pretty good.
I'm trying to remember whether we looked up at the sky while we were in Bukit Brown.
No, we looked up at the trees, no sky.
Yes.
A lot of trees.
I was very concerned about Chicha. I didn't see stars.
Okay, wait. So for you is what?
Okay, so just to be clear, the question is, what do you think is the best makeover for a haunted hospital? And I do think...
I base it off fear. So community center for me, definitely.
I mean, okay, yes. Community center, there's no fear on it. However, I do feel that in the same vein that watching old people line dance reduces the fear, the romance element of an astronomy center will reduce the fear quite a bit also.
So you see like two different souls.
Yeah.
This guy he's romantic. Yeah. I'm funny, I guess.
I guess neither of us want to go to museums.
Even the ghost see, walao, a bunch of old people line dancing. The ghost also awkward.
Just picturing all these ghosts like it's like looking at my mom dance. I don't want to, I cannot.
Nice.
All right. So let's move from Hong Kong to Malaysia.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier on about media coverage and everything. And let's just say this one was the one with the most media coverage that I could find. There was literally a whole article about this.
Nice.
So its hospital, Putrajaya, its hauntings were so well known that when religious healers were called in to cleanse the hospital in 2013, it actually made the papers. So just to give you an idea of what was in the article, I'm literally going to read out to you excerpts from the report in the Malay Mail. The nurses related stories told to them about others working the night shift who have heard strange noises and seen apparitions, especially in the hospital's 10 wards that are spread over 4 floors. Another place believed to be haunted, and the quotes is there, was the on-call block on the 5th floor where on-call medical or house officers sleep when they must stay the night. But no doctors could confirm with the Malay Mail online of any sightings. However, a common story told by nurses and doctors, sometimes to tease new intakes, is about an apparition of a seemingly beautiful lady in long black hair seen in the newly built National Cancer Institute beside the hospital, whom the staff have dubbed Shasha. Shasha was supposedly, it's so weird that they're giving her a name, was supposedly seen roaming outside the institute and along its corridors in either white or yellow dresses, which are coincidentally the colours of the building's walls outside. Yeah. So, okay, also according to the report, it is understood that it was not the first time such a ritual was held, and it was requested. This is according, it's understood, okay, so it's not confirmed. It was requested by top figures in administration themselves. So, high-ranking individuals in the hospital called for a cleansing of the hospital because of apparitions like Shasha.
By the way, this hospital is still ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not an abandoned hospital.
This is not an abandoned hospital. That's the thing. This is not
a functioning hospital.
Correct.
That you can today admit into one.
Yes.
It's not any of the abandoned one.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I feel like Malaysia, right, has a lot of press freedom.
Yeah. I don't know about press freedom, but there's certainly a broad range of topics.
Bro, they can just say like, hey, this one haunted. You do that in Singapore, bro, you kena already straight away.
To be fair, they don't outright say in the article that it's haunted. They say that religious leaders have come in for a cleansing.
Are you kidding me? They say that they literally have an entity called Shasha.
Shasha, who, if it's to be believed, is just something that they use to joke around with new staff. But also, that's very specific that they gave her a name. And it doesn't help that she's got long black hair and sometimes wears a white dress. Yeah. Sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah. Kaka.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they don't want to call her real name, because maybe they scared they will summon her. But I'm looking at Reddit as this guy who said that Dad said 3 entities follow him home after being discharged from hospital. What the fuck? I'm scared now.
Does your insurance cover entities following you home after treatment?
Well, there's a clause right under insurance called Act of God lah. But they don't have the clause called Act of HANTU. So maybe
an Act of HANTU clause in insurance. So okay, so far in this episode, right, we've said that there should be real estate agents who specialize in the supernatural. Apparently now we need insurance salesmen who also specialize in the supernatural.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is not America. In America, you might be able to sue the HANTU.
That's true. Down there, here we got Great Eastern Life. Down there they got Great Eastern Afterlife. If you rewind the video, you can see how long I've been thinking about that joke.
Dude, he's gonna get a suit, man.
Passion made possible, really.
Nice.
But yeah, I love that this got so much attention that is literally covered in the press that they actually had to call religious leaders in for a cleansing. It must have gotten so bad. Like, it must have gotten to the point where staff were just not coming into work. Because what other reason would that be for them to go like, I've had it. We have to deal with this somehow.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like it also, I think it's also the fact that Southeast Asians, we are a very spiritual bunch. And religious bunch as well.
Yes.
So I think for this to be, driven, I will see I will say that it could be a case of like either mass hysteria or just actually haunted Then people like, hey, let's not play like like in America, right, or Western lah. Western, I don't want to feel like I'm always targeting America lah. Western movies, right? Every time there's ghosts, right, they will, hello? Is anybody there? Like, if it's Singapore or Malaysia, there will not be a climax, bro. It's just no 3 act structure. First act, first act and third act. Then got ghosts like door slam, bam. Then it's like, oh, I'm out of here.
Bye-bye.
Like, see ya, bro. Like, ciao. Like, I think it's efficiency. I feel it's efficiency. Like, we just solve it. It's like, okay, got hantu, right? Okay, I get an expert come.
I feel like it's not just efficiency, but it's just, it's almost like what you said, like, oh, got hantu, call expert come. So it's very ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recall, right, there was, I think, at the hospital with my grandmother, I think we temporarily shifted her to like kind of like just right next to Changi Hospital, like a very nice end of stage home. It's still a hospital, but it's a home.
Yeah.
Then I remember I was walking around like looking at the rooms. There were other rooms lah with other patients. Then there were a few rooms that were playing like religious songs.
Oh yeah.
To basically ease them lah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that is allowed in the Western world. Yeah. I mean, I don't know lah. I mean, if any Western listeners, let us know. Because in Southeast Asia, it's pretty common.
Yeah.
And any religion, doesn't matter. They allow it. Yeah. But at the same time, right, I went there in the day.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going there at night? And it's 24-hour loop one. It's like one of these like small little speakers, right? It just keep chanting. Wow, it's creepy, bro.
I think it wouldn't bother me so much.
Yeah.
Not because I am brave, but because I have had relatives where that kind of having the prayers being played has brought them comfort at the later stages of their life.
Yeah.
So that's what I associate it with. When I think of like palliative care kind of places, or even hospitals where you have this religious prayers being said on like a radio station or recording or whatever it is, right? That's what I associate it with. It makes me less scared, more sad in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I the palliative care thing is one thing, but also I do feel like it's that whole hantus are part of our life. So, if you got like pest infestation, you call like exterminator. If you got hantu infestation, you just call
Did you just call ghosts pests?
No. Again, I heard it when I said it, but I just want to be absolutely clear to any hantu listening, any spirits or creatures listening. I am not referring to you as pests. It's just the situation. That's all. I'm drawing comparison in terms of the very like straightforward way that we associate with you. Okay? I am not referring to you all as pests.
Nice.
Please. I've already got enough of our fans on Tales from Incredible Tales and on our own channel going, hey, somebody should jump scare Wayne. I don't need y'all jumping in on this as well. So I just want to make that clear. Not referring to you as pests.
Would you visit Putrajaya Hospital?
I probably would. Just because A, it's functioning still. So that's a big plus. And B, I mean, look, if there was enough of a cleansing that required a newspaper article, I would like to believe they did quite a thorough job. Granted, this was in 2013, so I hope they've had the religious leaders come back and just do follow-up cleansings, hopefully, like every couple of years maybe.
I wonder what happened though.
I do wonder what happened as well.
I wonder what happened that lead up to it being haunted.
That's the thing. Okay. I mean, again, like what we were saying, a hospital with deaths and tragedy and everything like that, right? I don't think it needs any one thing. I think there's enough going on down there that it's going to be haunted.
No, but it you know what I mean, right? Like I'm sure all hospital got ghosts.
Yes.
But this one is got haunting, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not the usual frequency. If got ghosts, sometimes you see apparition walk past that kind.
Yeah.
But there's there's an apparition that's named Shasha. It has happened so many times that they actually call her a name. So that's why I'm like, what happened?
You know what's the more messed up one?
What?
Is that they gave her a name because there's more than one.
Really?
No, but that would be even more messed up, right? You find
Oh.
out, this one Shasha. Actually, there's a few others out here.
And
They also-
Casper.
He's calling you all Casper, not me. Yeah.
Casper, the not so friendly ghost.
There we go. Casper the ghost with a little bit of an attitude problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go there. Like if I had to visit somebody who was in Putrajaya Hospital, I would go there. I'd probably try not to stay overnight. I don't think I could stay overnight just because of visiting hours.
Yeah. The hospitals are the worst.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Hospitals are the worst. I generally would not want to stay overnight on a hospital anyway.
Yeah.
Like as a patient or somebody visiting or anything, I generally would not like to do that anyway.
Yeah. Let's hope all of us don't need to stay there.
Yeah. In any hospitals. It's always good when people don't have to visit hospitals.
Or stay in them.
Yeah.
That's my fear actually.
What,
Hospital. Stay in hospital. That's one of my fears.
Really?
No, it's like, like you just scared lah.
Yeah.
You just scared lah. And it really is like the stereotype one. The light at night are demon.
Yeah.
Then even if you're in a shed, then what if unfortunately the fella passed away?
Yeah.
You have to see that.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay. Haunted house or functioning hospital.
Oh.
If I ask you to stay in one overnight, which one would you find more terrifying?
If I stay in the hospital, it means that I'm sick, right?
I assume so lah. Yeah.
Haunted house.
Haunted house is scarier for you, or you rather stay in haunted house?
I stay in the haunted house.
You rather
Which
stay
means that I'm healthy. What?
No. Okay.
If I stay in the hospital, means I'm sick, right?
Let's say it's not a terminal illness lah. Okay.
No. I will choose my health. Yeah. Health is more important. Health is wealth.
Fair enough.
Health is wealth.
Okay. Let's try and level the playing field a bit more. Say you are perfectly healthy
Nice.
and I ask you to just stay in a hospital overnight. Again, it's a functioning hospital versus haunted house.
So okay lah. I stay for someone lah.
You stay for someone.
Okay, I stay lah. Yeah lah, hospital lah.
Okay.
Yeah, hospital lah. Because you know what's the bonus thing about hospitals? This is the clear sign when you grew up in the 90s. The hospital, right, got the vending machine with the little cups that you can get like Milo and stuff, and then they have like the small ice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the best shit, man.
I will say, my favorite. I love that. However, one of my favorite eateries in any hospital. Shout out to you, SGH. You're one of the best hospitals in the world, but also that place that sells like the waffles with the different flavors. Ooh, love that place, man.
Yeah, the cup thing, right? I extra loved it because I watched Terminator 2 and there was this scene of the security guard doing that. That is like one of my favorite scenes in cinema. Like it's so simple, but yeah, so delicate. Yeah, I fucking love it.
Vending machines.
Vending machines, nice.
That's the thing that pushes Carl more towards hospitals.
Yeah. If you realize, right, in horror movies, for hospital scenes, right, they rarely show the vending machine. I think from a production standpoint, it's because vending machine noisy, got sound, right? Got the fan and shit. But right, it also is a source of light and a source of,
yes,
I guess, like protection. I don't know. Because people will be there. There will be people by the vending machine most of the time, right?
Yes, but now I'm just thinking to myself, like, spiritually, right, if you ever feel you're in trouble, just find the nearest vending machine.
Yeah. Got sound. Usually it's very quiet one, right?
Milo, this is a marketing strategy you've never considered before, but
Nice.
here you go.
Yep.
We give you this one for free.
Yep. Yeah. You're welcome.
We've traveled all around Asia. I think our final stop shall be Vietnam. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. We did try to find the correct pronunciation, but then again, I've been known to mispronounce things even when I've heard the correct pronunciation anyway. So, Cho Sai Hospital is the largest national hospital in Vietnam. It's located in Ho Chi Minh City, and it was founded literally at the turn of the 20th century in 1900, which according to some people was the year I was born as well. At that age, it's not surprising that doctors have said that they've seen shadowy figures moving through abandoned parts of the hospital. They've also said to have seen the ghosts of recently deceased patients And in one account from one particular doctor, he apparently shared the elevator with the spirit of a patient that had just passed. So I was reading that account, and essentially what it was he shared the elevator with a woman, and she had like a tag on her. And then he left, he alighted the elevator, and he saw the body being wheeled out, and it had the exact same tag, the recently deceased tag on her as well. The story goes that as the body was being wheeled past, he felt something grab onto his shirt or his coat, and it was the body itself.
Damn. That's creepy.
One doctor's account, I don't know whether anybody has been able to verify it, but like we've been saying throughout this entire episode, hospitals generally creepy. Hospitals from the turn of the century, whew, that's a special kind of creepy.
And it's still in operation, eh?
Yeah.
They have a goddamn YouTube channel, dude.
They do. They do. Okay, so that's the thing. When we were looking for how to pronounce it, we found their YouTube channel. So, I mean, good on them for being up to date in terms of social media and everything, and having that kind of presence, but also creepy.
Yeah.
Not the YouTube channel, but just creepy.
So I found an image of the mortuary of the hospital. Outside the gate, there's like one incense burner. They put the incense there, and there's like a whole bunch of them. Wow. Yeah. It's called the House of Farewell.
Oh, come on. That sounds like the name of a horror movie.
And I think they got like some small little altar there, to make sure that everybody is like protected, I guess.
I mean, it's good that they take the precautions as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you'll hear stories like one of them are saying that you can see these shadowy figures in abandoned parts of the hospital.
Wait, there are abandoned parts in the hospital itself?
Because it's such an old hospital that some parts of it just aren't being used for whatever reason anymore. So, I mean, I can't imagine that they're in complete disrepair. It's not like going to be like an old Changi hospital situation, but they're just not in use. So if you happen to go in there, then good luck to you, I guess.
I feel like Vietnam is also quite similar in that sense, whereby it's dense. It's very dense. Especially Ho Chi Minh City. There's so many people there. And I think it's a certain kind of Southeast Asian zoning and also the way it's built, right?
Yeah.
So you have a lot of neighbors.
Yeah.
Then confirm got a lot of stories also.
Yeah.
And it's unavoidable that you see it.
Yeah.
Like Singapore is dense, but not in that particular sense.
Yeah.
I think Singapore is socially dense. So in a way, like how, when there's a wake that's going on, you will see it. You see it happening.
Yeah.
Because this is just how it's built lah.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe in Vietnam or in Hong Kong, your house might be literally right next to the hospital because of how dense it is. So yeah.
And I think that density probably, one is with that many people, the amount of supernatural occurrences, it's bound to be a lot more. Just because more people means eventually more death.
Yeah.
But also I think the stories are going to spread a lot faster.
Yeah.
Because of that density. Like in Singapore, if you wanna hear like a ghost story from like any particular hospital or what, chances are it starts with somebody who either stayed there or staff. In somewhere like Vietnam, for example, in Ho Chi Minh City, chances are it's people nearby.
Wow.
And it'll spread quite quickly.
Yeah. Now, right now, I'm like looking at like a article by the Smart Local Vietnam.
Yeah.
So they actually talk about the mortuary right next to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of photos actually.
Yeah.
Did you go through them? The
Yep.
Photos? Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's behind the hospital, right? I like to believe. And the hospital looks very, very big.
Yeah.
Very, I'll say modern now. I'll say modern and very dense also. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like you look at, there's Tosai Hospital, there's Putrajaya Hospital, and what was the other one that we were looking at that's still open and functioning? Can't remember whether there was another one. But that's the thing, like these hospitals, it really doesn't matter how modern they look. Like, you're gonna get that sense of creepiness no matter what.
Dude, I think it's the modern ones that are the creepiest.
Really?
Because from the outside, you look at the facade, right?
Yeah.
It looks so clean and new.
Yeah.
But then you go inside, right? It's still creepy, bro. Yeah.
I wonder whether it's the lighting.
I don't think so. I think it's just the concept of hospitals.
Of hospitals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, right, it's like if you're sick. That's why I choose, to stay in a haunted house if I'm gonna be sick over being sick, because if you're really sick to be hospitalized, there's a chance that you might not make it out. That's the scary part. And the next thing you know, you're in a box.
Wow.
The next thing you know, you become fish food.
Wow, that was fast.
Dude,
I mean, yes,
life happens.
And death apparently lah, but
Yeah.
That's the thing. Newer hospitals don't creep me out as much, but even the older hospitals though, because there's a need for them to stay current. Like, doesn't matter how old the hospital you are. If you are like, okay, let's take Singapore General Hospital for example. Singapore General Hospital is not a new hospital.
Yeah.
But unless you're familiar with it, if you come to Singapore, if you're visiting from out of town, it looks like it's a new hospital. It's always had to stay up to date. So for me, the newer hospitals, the ones that I know are newer, slightly less creepy, but still creepy lah. I'm not going to say that they're not creepy. They're slightly less creepy for me. And I think it's not so much the hospital itself, it's just knowing that there's less history. Yeah. I mean, with social media these days, right, it's very hard. It's not hard to hide, right? It's true.
Like right now, the article is also saying that there was a nurse that unfortunately unalived herself, right, near the hospital.
Is this the
article? Yeah. Then she came back. She came back as a spirit. People saw her, mourning near the place where she unalived herself, and sometimes at the mortuary. Yeah. And it's quite common for mortuary to have, things happening. Yeah. In fact, people who are in the line of death care, I think is quite quite common for them. Yeah, quite common. Yeah. Oh, I just remember a story. Okay.
Sounds like Raihan.
Yeah, channeling my inner Raihan. My wife's aunt used to be in the healthcare. So she said that, when she was doing her rounds, I think as a nurse. Yeah, then it's very common to see disease, like the deceased bodies. Sometimes you just roll past you. It's just very common. Yeah. But there was one particular incident. I think this office that they work in for admin staff, right? I think it's right next to the mortuary. Yeah. So I think she wanted to go in to do some admin work, and it's usually locked. And then for some reason, right, that day, right, for the past 10 years in her career, she has never gotten anything creepy happen to her. She heard a lot of stories, but she tried to open the door, locked. With keys, cannot open. Just try to open, cannot open, no matter how hard she tried. Right. And then she got pissed off. She says, I got a lot of work. Please, do not disturb me. I need to work. And then somehow clicked and can go in. So you cannot tell me that, after trying for a few minutes, is the lock spoil or the key spoil, right? Then it's something weird that's going on. And then she thought that there was someone inside. Nobody. So that's when she knows it's something paranormal, and then she quickly closed the door and do her work. Yeah. I just like to point out that, as creepy as this story was, because you need two parts, right? The ghost don't let you go in to do work. Yeah. And second part is your office is right next to the mortuary, which is creepy. You can see bodies in and out every day. That's creepy on itself already. The sad thing is that when you tell the ghost, hey, stop, I got a lot of work to do, the ghost somehow understands. You know how fucking sad that is for our society? I'm so sorry to make this about like a commentary about our society. But it's so sad. Even the ghost like, okay, sorry. I know you need to work. Sorry.
I get it.
Sorry,
I stress.
sorry. You stress. You go. Last time I also scared of my boss. Sorry.
The ghost like, work-life balance. Please.
Maybe the ghost don't want her to go and do work because want work-life balance. Hey bro, what time already? Overtime, still overtime. You go home lah. Go home.
Ghost of what? Ghost of life coach. This one.
Yeah. So I don't know lah. I feel like it's it's one of those stories that I was like, wow, really? And then I say, what happened after that? Then I just do my work and I go home.
I can't believe that she bothered to stay.
No, because I think when you deal with, the deceased on a daily basis and your job is literally to save lives.
Yeah.
You are kind of not scared of it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if you and we were in this same industry, I think we will be quite immune to it lah.
Yeah.
I feel lah.
Yeah.
Which goes to show that, I think, the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, they're heroes lah. They're real heroes lah. They actually save and help people lah.
Yeah.
Literally. So yeah, kudos to you guys. I mean,
literally,
hashtag I support you guys lah. I don't know.
Literally,
Like I dedicate this episode to y'all lah.
Yeah. Literally the two of us can't even stay in a hospital overnight. So that shows how brave you guys are. But yeah, I think since we're talking about mortuaries and everything, it's a good time to point out that I have threatened my own self to
stay in a mortuary.
No, God, no. What's that game called? Morticians.
The mortuary assistant.
Mortuary assistant. Yes.
Yep.
So, on top of you guys, continuing the conversation in terms of your favorite scary hospitals, in terms of your favorite scary abandoned or still functioning hospitals, and talking about like all these stories that you've heard, would you like to see me do that play along and scare myself? With Carl sitting next to me and laughing at me.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to ask you guys if you guys
I'll get scared lah. I'll get scared also.
He'll get scared as well, but he'll also still be laughing at me lah. Mostly because I'm terrible at games. On top of the fact I'll be scaring myself lah. So if you guys want to see that, just let us know in the comments as well. And then, for all you know, we might do one of those play-alongs again.
Yeah. So, every episode of this kind of volumes, I will give you a bonus. So I got one bonus,
of course,
which is a place that I've been to before, not in the military base, but the island itself. So this comes from one of my favorite countries in the world, Japan. Okinawa itself went through a lot of trauma, a lot of military history. So there's an American base there, a huge American presence there. Soldiers still stationed there. Particularly, there's this base called let me get it right. Kadena Air Base in Okinawa. Supposedly, right, it's very haunted because of like the conflict that the US and Japan had at that point of time. And there is this urban legend of this ghost. I think he was a Marine. Like when you're doing rounds right around that base itself, there will be this guy who will be standing there and asking you, you got smoke? You got smoke? And then when you pass it to him, two things will happen. Either one scenario will happen. One, he will just disappear into thin air in front of you. Another one is that he will actually come after you or something.
Shit.
Yeah, you take the cigarette and then he come after you.
That's not cool, man.
Yeah. So it's pretty creepy. Then like any other US military base, they have like living quarters lah for the family and stuff. So there are some units and apartments are supposedly very haunted, like things will move themselves, that kind of thing lah. Yeah, and then you add another layer of like Japanese folklore. We're talking about like mountain spirits, like they've got a lot of yokais, they got a lot of spirits, different kind of spirits, and Okinawa is very forested. Yeah, so there's a lot of forests, mountains and stuff. So you add on to that place will be walao. Yeah, so that's your bonus. If you want us to talk about Japan, comment down below. Let us know which Japanese hospital is haunted. Then maybe we'll do it in the next volume.
Can I just say I'm still hung out over the fact that when you offer the Marine a cigarette, he goes after you.
Maybe he don't want you to smoke.
No, but I mean, look, come on, man. Like, I'm not a smoker anymore. I quit a long time ago, and I'm much better for it. But also, you know, as smokers last time, there used to be this etiquette, you know, you never take somebody's last stick, everything. You certainly, if you are a ghost, you do not chase after people offering you cigarettes. That's just rude.
Maybe that's part of his routine. He scare you, then he asks you for a smoke. You take out you're halfway taking out, then he come after you, scare you with his like scary looks or something. That's part of his routine lah. It's like the keropok makcik. Yeah, the keropok auntie. He asks you, innocent what? Like, hey, can I come in? You know, I want to sell you keropok. Then you take out your money, boom, straight away come in, and then you're dead. I don't know. Yeah.
I still, unless the ghost plan is to get you to quit smoking, I still think very rude. Very rude.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe the other side, right, has been telling us that, you know, you guys are like not having work-life balance. You guys are not taking care of your health. You see, I die already. I need to tell you all this. Yeah. That kind of shit.
So all the lessons that the ghosts have been trying to tell us that we haven't been paying attention to.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's like, scary. It's like, hey, I'm just trying to get you to quit smoking and, you know, not work so hard.
I think the next time any of you in the comments, unfortunately, if you guys meet a ghost, right, you know what you all should do? You should tell the ghost, I need to work, bro. Come on, then you get angry. Then you see what happens.
Or you start complaining to the ghost about like what's going on in your life.
I think the ghost stops. Yeah, they go, hey, bro, me too, bro. Me too.
You think I want to haunt you for fun?
Yeah, me too. I also got supervisor.
Yeah. Supernatural visor.
Nice.
I'm on a roll today. All right.
That's it for this episode.
That is.
If you like this kind of content, let us know.
Yes.
Like the volume compilations, you know. Scary schools, scary hospitals, scary roads. What else?
Potentially scary hotels if you guys have a demand for it.
No, I just thought of one. Scary military stories.
Oh,
yeah, scary military stories.
Particularly not just within Singapore, but around Asia.
Of course. Yeah. Not every story is an intercong, please. Like there's a lot more than that. There's a lot more than that.
We like a good tekong story, but go on.
Yeah, give comment down below and let us know. And as usual, if we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, Win and I will go with our friends to live stream in a cemetery or something. Yeah. We'll think of something. Yeah. He still owes me one session of dark visuals, so we need to go and shoot some visuals for ghost maps, right? He still owes me one because we hit our Instagram target already.
And I'm fine with that. It's just look, having already shot in a cemetery, right, at this point in time, I'm still probably going to be more scared of the chichats than of the ghosts.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's nice to know.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to going to the cemetery for a different reason now.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah.
That's what you call progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's what you call a Dead Air episode. Thank you for watching. And 3, 2, 1. Remember, just because they're stories, it doesn't mean they're not true. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night, guys.
If you want to stay up to date on HANTU or listen to our other podcasts like Ghost Maps, subscribe now and follow us on social media. You can also be one of our supporters on Patreon. Look for We Are HANTU or click the links in the description. Dead Air is a HANTU production, hosted by Kyle Ong and Wayne Ray, with album art by Jolene Lim, and recorded on Audio Technica mics.